Leafy, one of the most controversial people in YouTube's history. His reign as one of the fastest growing and most influential channels in the site may have only lasted less than 2 years, but even today his name is still recognized and polarizing. Countless in-depth documentaries and opinion pieces have been put together about Leafy over the years, some as unbiased retrospectives while others criticize Leafy's actions. Though following his disappearance in 2017, the former is much more common. Given the abundance of these videos, you would think that I, officially licensed YouTube nobody just Jargon, would have nothing to bring to the table. As usual. And any other day this would be an ironic channel review, but this isn't just any other day. I actually have a pretty long personal history with Leafy's content and the drama around it, but I'll save that for later. Partially because that's not the focus of things, but also because I want to reach the 10-minute runtime without making you wait for what the title promises. Which, of course, is Leafy's lost content. It's not a secret, but many are unaware that Leafy's channel didn't start off as being the reaction commentary channel we know it as today. In reality, it first began in 2011 as a cookie-cutter Minecraft gaming channel. Lemmon's documentary on Leafy highlights this, showing clips from a few surviving collabs he'd done with other Minecraft channels.
It was likely during the Minecraft era that Leafy conditioned himself to use clickbait titles and flashy thumbnails. Because if you want to make it big on YouTube, you gotta make yourself the center of attention.
But despite this, there were little to no re-uploads of his videos from this era to capture exactly what he was like at the time. Emphasis on were. Over a year ago, I got a hold of 36 original Leafy is Here Minecraft videos from 2013 to 2015, just before he made the switch in content. I even implied I had them in July of 2018 when I made my 5 years of Jargon anniversary video, where I played one of the videos in its entirety as a joke. If you're wondering how I got them, the answer is a bit hard to explain. You probably know about a site called the Wayback Machine, which archives URLs online. You can use it to view past versions of websites and YouTube videos as well. If a popular video was taken down, chances are it probably got backed up in the Wayback Machine first. Unpopular videos can too, but it's rarer. The only issue is finding the URLs in the first place, and it's difficult unless the channel's videos tab was also archived, letting you right-click and grab the links. In the case of Leafy, I managed to find these dead links to his videos through his Google Plus page, which is where things get a bit complicated. I already made a video talking about this phenomenon, but in 2013, YouTube merged with Google Plus and all YouTube videos were automatically shared there by default when a person uploaded anything. This sharing feature could be turned off, but most left it on out of carelessness or unawareness. So, countless videos were linked on Google Plus pages these YouTubers didn't know they owned. And even if a video was deleted from YouTube, the original upload date and title would remain on Google Plus. But more importantly, the URL would as well. Unfortunately, Google Plus was deleted in April of 2013, but before it went down, I explored the backlogs of dozens of channels to see if anything was recoverable. This is when I ran across Leafy's old videos. The page had about 100 deleted videos from his pre-commentary era, and after plugging in all the links, I found 28 functional Wayback Machine entries. The other 13 I grabbed from the only usable capture of Leafy's videos tab, totaling up to 41. And here they are. So, I got in my chair, opened up VLC, and binged all of them. And, well, it was strange. As you can see, they're all Minecraft Let's Plays with the exception of a room tour video, which is also the video I showed in full way back when. The Let's Plays were mostly based on PvP using plugins, sometimes on servers Leafy owned himself.
Yo, what up guys? Welcome to a brand new video. I know I've been so inactive lately. It's because I've just been so busy with Parapractice, which is basically a brand new server I came out with this last weekend, I think it was.
Honestly, if you're a Leafy fan, you're not missing much. The majority of the runtime is just him fighting and yelling at people, which, I guess on the other hand, isn't too different from his normal content, but you get the drift. But even still, knowing the giant channel Leafy would become, there are a lot of heavily foreshadowing moments.
It doesn't matter how good your videos are. If you get like 0 views, then like if no one even recognizes you, then it just sucks dick. And like it's really like fucking like not motivating when you like put a bunch of time into a video and then you get like 5 views and no one even like gives a shit at all. So I think definitely the hardest part is just starting off. And I think if you're actually looking to start off, the best thing to do is just network with people. Now I'm not saying like go fucking spam Yogscast or some shit,
you know, subscribers, but like you said, you definitely, it's really hard to get started off. And if you really want to be successful, truthfully, you really need to work hard. You really need to keep going at it. You know, I've had multiple times where I said, I'm done with this. This is stupid. Do you usually edit them, or do you just...
Oh, I definitely edit them. I'm not saying all of them I edit them, but If it's like really, really boring, I'll edit it.
In case you're curious, Leafy had less than 30,000 subscribers in every video from this time. But while watching them, the one thing that became abundantly clear throughout was that Leafy's a lot less pessimistic and appears to genuinely care about his subscribers. That's not to say he didn't care once he'd become popular, but here he certainly shows it a lot more. In one video, he teams up with a subscriber for a Hunger Games match.
We're teaming up with another sub today. His name is Jargon. And I think he's pretty good. I've teamed up with him before. I think in one of my fisherman challenges.
In another, he hosts a server rank giveaway.
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to some more PvP. And today we're actually having a really sick giveaway, but I'm going to let Sasuke explain it. He's the owner of this server that I'm going to be giving away the shit on.
And overall, he just says and does a whole bunch of things that show he really does appreciate his fan base and goes out of his way to interact with them.
All the plot IDs in the comments will... I'll go to all of them, so if you're, let's say hypothetically you play on this server, just go to your plot and write in the comments what your plot is, and I think you have to write something, I have no idea, just put the plot ID and I'll be sure to check it out in my next video. I plan on checking out some of the fans' plots every now and then. It's, you know, it kind of makes some sort of fucking shit happen. I don't know, it just sounds like fun. Leave a comment telling me what that server is, or... if you want actually a better chance of getting a hold of me, send me an email through my what's my email?
He still is his usual edgy self at times, but these videos have a lot of unironically wholesome bits that make it clear that behind it all, at least from the start, Leafy was just a kid who wanted to have fun and play video games with his friends.
This is gonna sound cheesy as fuck, and it's gonna be like, really? It actually means a lot to me. I mean, I can't tell you how many days I just got home and just played Minecraft. Minecraft's a pretty sick game. Definitely a big part of my childhood. We got the full... we got some Mountain Dew voltage. I like Mountain Dew a lot. That's like the typical, like, don't do anything all day shit. And that's kind of my lifestyle. I like to stay home and play video games.
From this, is it too much to say that the videos that Leafy became so well known for may not have been his true self? Of course, everyone puts on a show for the camera, but still. Or did fame change him as it changes so many people, amplifying the character traits that he thought people wanted to see, while letting everything else fade into obscurity, only to be lost for good with the videos themselves?
But, yeah, guys, expect a 25K special really soon, and I might be bringing back a lot of my old talk video series, maybe Kids That Date Us, I'm not sure.
That clip was taken from the final few seconds of the most recently uploaded video in the lineup, Parapractice Echoes Minecraft PvP Montage number 2. It was uploaded on May 22nd, 2015. And as all of you know, this is the point where Leafy's channel would begin to see exponential growth. By changing up his content and developing his persona, Leafy's success would snowball, and the rest is history. But the lost videos don't end there. There are 3 points in which content was removed from Leafy's channel en masse, and this was the first. With his Minecraft past gone, Leafy had moved into a more controversial form of content that, as all of you know, would both propel him into fame and rip him from it. But what a lot of people don't know is that some point midway into his channel's lifespan, Leafy deleted several videos under the grounds of them being too harsh. Now, I know that's a bit hard to believe given who we're talking about, but I do recall him saying this in a video at one point.
I ended up removing 2 of my older videos today, one of which was like 3 months old. This morning I was just watching a few of my videos, and I felt like in these 2 videos I was a little bit overly harsh, so we just decided to take those 2 down.
Unfortunately, it's been quite a while, and despite trying to locate the clip, I can't seem to find it for the life of me. Tracking down a random side comment in a series of daily uploads is akin to finding a needle in a haystack after all, so it's fine if you don't want to take my word on it. I mean, because after all, I can't prove it. What I can prove, though, is that a series of Leafy's videos were in fact privated, and most of them were recoverable, especially since Leafy was at the peak of his popularity at the time, so functioning Wayback Machine entries and re-uploads were to be expected. By combing through a list of his channel's post-Minecraft uploads, I checked all the dead links to find out why they'd been removed and compiled a list of which had been privatized. Now, even if I could find the clip I was referring to where Leafy allegedly stated that he was privatizing harsher videos, I do remember that in that segment he never specified which ones, or how many. So for most of these missing uploads, we can only theorize what happened, but for a few we know. Several were taken down in response to controversies, like the well-known Tommy NC incident where a guy by the name of Tommy was mercilessly bullied by Leafy's fanbase after having one of his videos used for Leafy's commentary. And a similar situation occurred with a guy going by Wet Movie 1, who was also featured and responded afterwards. There was also the now infamous H3H3 Productions rant, which is technically only unlisted and still viewable through the URL. And on an unrelated note, the title has since been changed to hacked by twitter.com/poodlecorp. This was due to the fact that a group going by that name temporarily hacked Leafy's channel and changed all the titles and descriptions. I guess since the video was already unlisted when the hack happened, Leafy never bothered to change it back, but who knows. While in control of his channel, the hackers also uploaded their own video advertising themselves to Leafy subscribers, but this was soon deleted once Leafy regained access. And I guess by that logic, the hacker's video counts as a deleted Leafy video as well. Of the remaining videos, the one that sticks out distinctly is a video titled Keemstar and Drama Alert, not to be confused with the Keemstar and Drama Alert rant that would be posted a few months later. The lost video, in my opinion at least, is a fairly rational take on the Drama Alert controversy at the time when Keemstar accused a random Twitch streamer of being a sex offender by mistake.
They made the video saying that they were wrong about the information, they said sorry multiple times, and I even heard something about them paying for a trip for this guy, okay? They really have done everything they can to try to make this right for this guy. For good intentions or just trying to get the hate off their back, they really have done literally everything, okay? They took down the video, they apologized, made a new video saying that all the information was wrong, they apologized a few more times, and then I also heard apparently they're going to be paying for a free trip for this guy, okay? So
to many, this was one of the final nails in the coffin that helped spark the site-wide takedown of Keemstar later on, an attack which Leafy was at the forefront of. And third-party accounts have since stated that it was a publicity stunt for the sake of getting views and subscribers from the drama. This privatized video, though, is far different. In it, Leafy touches on a lot of Keemstar's past controversies and is a lot kinder than one may have imagined him to be, and while acknowledging Keemstar's current mistake, ultimately states that he should be forgiven.
But I'll also say that some of the shit he's saying in these hate videos or Keemstar exposed videos is like 7 years ago. 7 years? I was a fucking 13 years old. I was learning how to trick shot, dude. And at that point in time, his channel/live streams apparently revolved around trolling, okay? So maybe that's like an explanation for some of the shit he says. But the honest truth, dude, I wasn't watching fucking YouTube 7 years ago. Dude, I just barely started following this guy.
So that being said, it may not be a stretch to say that this video was deleted because it clashed with how Leafy wanted to portray Keemstar when he posted the Keemstar rant. But this is only speculation, though if it is true, it could be seen as Leafy taking yet another moral plunge. His wholesome Minecraft days were now long gone, and now, potentially, so was his value and friendship ties. The remaining privatized videos were seemingly done at random, one of which was a video making fun of an anti-cyberbullying ad, make of that what you will, and the rest were just videos talking about other channels, with no controversy tied to them as far as I know. Some could be the aforementioned harsher videos he'd taken down, but it's uncertain. And that, ladies and gentlemen, leads us to today. Leafy himself is long gone now, and we've talked about his retroactively deleted Minecraft past, and the videos taken down in the prime of his popularity. All that's left is the future. You see, Leafy might have left YouTube, but his channel remains, all while the site's guidelines keep changing. Things have gotten stricter over the past several years, and his channel has been affected. 11 of his older videos were taken down by YouTube themselves for retroactively violating guidelines that didn't exist at the time, or at least weren't as strict as they are now. 2 for hate speech, 4 for bullying, 1 for deceptive titling, and the remaining 4 due to generic unspecified guidelines violations. I could go through these too, but I think given Leafy's content, a lot of this is pretty self-explanatory, especially given these titles in particular. And keep in mind, with the bots hitting videos and no one around to file appeals for these takedowns, deletions are to be expected. So, with all that said, what can we take from this? To me, at the very least, it became clear that either Leafy puts on a show for his commentary videos, albeit more so than most, or getting a rush of fame changed him for the worst. I don't know, I can't say. But from the information both in and surrounding these videos, it's clear that something changed. Leafy is far more wholesome in the original videos than he is now. Whether that means anything in discussing Leafy himself is up to you, because his actions still had the same impact regardless of who the real Leafy was behind that mic. You may have noticed that this video has a lot more of a personal approach than normal, and that's simply because Leafy's situation is one I've been watching play out for almost 5 years now. In late 2015 and early 2016, I was a senior in high school, becoming bored out of my mind as most of the other losers were preparing for college. I had a minor interest in filmmaking, but no real hobbies of sort. But then, everything changed when the Drama Alert Nation attacked. A YouTuber I'd been a fan of got got into controversy, which first introduced me to Keemstar and the world of online bickering about stupid stuff. But it was only after finding Leafy that I grew very interested. It may be controversial to say, but back then I did find Leafy funny. It was a fresh new style of content that, while mean-spirited in nature, ultimately proved enjoyable. I've always been a sucker for edge humor, and while I don't like to push the boundaries at the expense of others, I did enjoy watching from afar as long as I didn't take part. But that being said, the only thing that truly encapsulated me were the playful back and forth spats Leafy would have with others. And no, not the times where people would get bullied and respond as previously mentioned. I'm referring to when the people he mocked him back. Specifically, Stomedy.
Guess who it is? Guess again. Wrong! It's Stomedy!
If you don't know who Stomedy is, look him up, watch a few of his videos, you'll get the gist of it, but if you do know him, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Stomedy is, whether ironically or not, one of the most hilarious people to be featured on Leafy's channel. But what made it so great was the fact that Stomedy went with the joke. He made several response videos confirming that he was fine with the effects of the drama, and even sought to use it to his advantage by putting on an entertaining show for views. You could argue that Stomedy has no self-awareness and this tactic wasn't intentional, but either way, Stomedy never showed himself to be emotionally damaged by anything that had happened, and tripled his subscriber count from Leafy's fanbase. Whether he's insane or a genius, I think it's pretty safe to say that he's happy with how everything worked out. This sequence of events was one of the most hilarious things I'd ever seen, and still is to this day. It was two funny characters bantering with one another through response videos, and while the remarks made by each other were harsh, no one got hurt. It was a happy middle ground in drama because it was real, but it also didn't destroy careers or bully people to death in the process. So, upon seeing this new form of content for the first time, and with awareness of Leafy beginning to grow in my social circle, I decided to get together with my friends and make an ironic live-action parody of the Leafy drama. It featured my friend starring as the ultimate hacker, who is introduced to Leafy's content and decides he's too toxic and must be stopped. He and I then have a really poorly choreographed fight complete with terrible green screen fire and still image overlays. And if any of this footage looks familiar, it's because I re-edited it for a filler video almost 2 years ago called You Re-Uploaded on the Wrong Channel. So if you want to watch bits of it and cringe, check it out there. I may make the original version public again, but who knows. The video, in all fairness, was absolutely terrible. Back then, I knew I wasn't good enough at editing or acting to make it good, so I went in the opposite direction and tried to make it as bad as possible. And honestly, I definitely succeeded. So much so that I can hardly look at it even ironically anymore. And also because I was fat then. But either way, this video was the first drama-based thing I'd ever made, and arguably put me on the road that would lead to the creation of Just Jargon a year and a half later. It introduced me to parodies and the community I could use to make them, and the rest is history. And also, by sheer coincidence, this video about my friend seeking revenge on Leafy was posted on the day of retribution in 2016. I didn't even know who Elliot Rodger or Mumkey Jones were at that point, but I guess it's fitting that the video that kicked off Just Jargon had a Mumkey reference in it, even without me knowing it. But as the years went on and Leafy lost his fame, his friends, and his likability, I honestly never grew to hate him. It's probably because of what his videos led me towards, but even then I never really found him to be completely irredeemable. I'm not denying or downplaying any of the horrible things he did to the people he featured, his editors, his friends, or even the site itself. But I guess I just never fully thought his bad attributes were worth ditching him for entirely. The whole internet flipped on Leafy all at once for his countless negative traits, but maybe if he'd been outed for everything slower, he could have made a change. Maybe it's not too far-fetched to say that if Leafy had slowly changed for the worst over his years on YouTube, he wasn't incapable of slowly changing back for the better. None of that justifies what he did or changes the results, but I hope it's at least food for thought. I did stop watching Leafy after a while, though only because his content grew repetitive, forced, and lazy. All of which had been problems prior, but after nearly 2 years of daily uploads, the flaws were increasingly apparent. Combine that with the fact that other channels sharing his format started to pop up, and it wasn't long before Leafy's brand of humor was oversaturated, and the last of its enjoyability was taken away. Maybe for the better. Do I regret my involvement with Leafy's content? Simply put, no. Even ignoring the significance it had to where I am now, I never involved myself in any of the bad things that Leafy's fanbase did, which I think goes without saying given everything I've said, but I just want to make it clear. Though I feel like for the past several years, people have been too afraid to even say that they used to like Leafy, even though most viewers and YouTubers alike were on his side for the longest time. And whether his older videos make him out to be a better person or not, I don't think there's any shame in having been a passive viewer way back when. Ever since I first decided to create Just Jargon, Leafy was always on the list of my channels to review view for this very reason. I've been planning to make these points in a video since mid-2017, and since then, Leafy's reputation has reached more of a middle ground than anything. At that point, he was solely hated, but as time has gone on, some people have started to miss him, some people still hate him, and some people don't care anymore. But from these older videos, we can at least acknowledge that whether Leafy was truly a monster, he didn't start out that way. No one does. I don't think Leafy should be forgiven for all that he's done, but I think that whether for his sake or as a lesson to others, he at least deserves to be understood.